Okay, so welcome again. Thank you very much for being here. um, very excited. Also a bit nervous. Because I was thinking, where to begin, and people are asking, what is this? What is the Evergreen Project? And the answer takes a while, I guess, and it's been changing. Like we were discussing in the class. It's been changing. It has changed a lot since its inception. It has moved away from ideas that we had and ideas that we never thought of appeared as we progress. So if we want to take a good feeling of what it is, I think we need to go back to where it started. And it started, I think it was around 2013, I think it was the first time that it got kind of mentioned in the team. But before this, it kind of started in my mind, and it developed over the years, like a decade before this, I think. And I think a very important moment where the project was born, without me knowing it, was around 2003, when I got into university, like the technical university, and I moved away from my parents' house. And with this change, my mind kind of like became free to think on its own and like break the barriers that existed up until this time. And this, of course, led to deep depression. I think, anyways, yeah, so at this point, I kind of got into thinking about death, doing samyama on the concept of death. And I got really sad, really depressed, as we say. But the main issue of the depression was not death itself, but it was it was not death itself, but it was the lost opportunity that this world seems to be. Because I was thinking that, many people must be thinking the same thing, must be thinking, what is the point of all this? And if I don't find the point very easily, why everybody seems to be so, strict with what they think and what they feel and what they want to do, what they think that the world is. I thought that more people must have the same feeling of, things being done in a way that is depressing, right? And I had a thing that I considered it to be a problem. My mind would get stuck to things, like very, very intensely. Right? And this was a main issue. It was a main problem. It was a big problem for me. So thinking about solutions, I started to think about human nature a lot. And very soon became apparent that, the solution is in community and in nature. So some years go by. The studio opened at 2012, and I think it was kind of the same. It was an attempt to solve the same issue, but just in the city. Right? And after the first year, the team began, the team of the Evergreen Yoga Studios began forming. And the first people were Maria, of course, and Katerina and Nadia. So the team started discussing this idea of creating an eco village somewhere in nature, and we can spend time together, move away from the noisiness of the city. And then the team began working together. Some years were already passing by. We started coming closer together and would go on vacation together, right? And we would kind of get a glimpse of this community and nature idea. So to fast forward a little bit more, 2019 and 20 come, and the quarantine and everything with COVID-19, and we were very lucky because from the first day we got together. There were 6 of us, and we went to the village and we spent the quarantine together. And that was like for 2.5 months, almost 2.5 months. So we were living together and started to explore this in action, right, in practice. And also, it's funny because like we discussed in the class, when I don't know, it seems like there is a constant relation, I don't know, with the universe, I would say, because once you start with the first step of things, then the second step comes maybe before even you're ready. And this is what we've been experiencing. We did the first step, and then the second step came, and it was already almost too soon for us, right? And then the third step, and we had to kind of go along with a rhythm that we didn't set, but it was natural, it was flowing, right? So one of the things that was flowing is the curfew that was imposed with the quarantine, like the restriction of movement that happened with the quarantine helped us very much, because to face this, we had to found a non-profit company based in the village, so that we can use the papers to move from here to the village and back. So this put us a couple of years forward already, before we were ready to found the company, right? And so it is organized in a non-profit company, because it needs some kind of this is I think this is too much movement a little bit for me, and I cannot really focus too much. So I was saying, what was I saying? Some sort of legal process. Right, there had to be like some kind of entity, right? So it took us like 6 months to come up with how it's going to be organized. And before the quarantine happened, we had already started looking for land. We had already started looking for land, and this took us 2 years. It took 2 years from the moment that we started looking until the time that we got in the field and it was ours. And this happened in was it August 2021? End of August. So we got to the field, and the field was full of vata. Wasn't that vata? vines, right? Is it? Prickly plants all over the place, everywhere. Brass, right, right. And it was everywhere. So the first thing that we did was we got a tapa. It was the first tool that we got. We started to make a path right through the vata. And that was 2.5 years ago, right? Almost 3 years ago now. And all this time, during the whole time, it was very intense. The what was happening in the group, like within us. Well. So this was the whole process that's ongoing, right? The group of people that come together around something. There's always dynamics happening, always constantly happening. So we would work at these two things at the same time. We would work on the field, begin to clear up the way and place the first little structures, and then at the same time we would work in the internal aspects of the team. How we would be organized, how would new people come in, how would people leave, what are the main functions that we use, what is the identity, right? All these things that are really important for a community. Once, if those things are not defined, then the community doesn't really exist. Because if you think about it, and especially in Greek, it's I don't know, the word is very clear, kinotita. Kinotita. So there's kino is the common, right? What we have in common, and this the ending otita is commonness, right? In English, what is the thing that we have in common? And this thing that we have in common needs to be clearly defined. Because if it's not, then we don't have something in common. It's been an amazing journey so far. And now we are a little bit at a place where things are kind of ready to be presented to other people. And this is why it took a couple of years until we openly presented it. Because now there's some stability in the structure, in the internal structure. And there is already some infrastructure that allows us to comfortably go there and stay and host other people also. The point of all this is really what we discussed in the class, is to create a space where people will be able to escape the conditioned self, the conditioning of the world that we live in, right? A place where we can go and become influenced by factors other than those that are in play here, right? And hopefully at the same time cultivate the skills and the psychic parts that are needed for this transition to happen, because we have learned to live, well, pretty much on our own, right? A lonely life. And when you decide to go live with someone, with a group of people, it's not by definition that it's gonna work, right? I need to train. I need to get experience on how this is done, and I think that we've lost this a little bit. So there's the training that this needs, right? Changing myself into something new. This is a process that is much more comfortable if there is guidance. And then the third thing is that, we try to create a place where people will actually be able to try this, and maybe also support them to make their first steps, right? So we can provide infrastructure, we can provide, the tools that we have, we can provide the land that we have, we can provide the knowledge that we have, which is not immense, but it's building. So that people can either, come and stay in this community if they like, but also cultivate what is needed, to go to any community or to start their own community. So this is the main idea. I think this is where we are right now. We do use the practice of yoga because something, as I said in the class, something is needed as a moral compass, as a context for us to make contact with each other. So we are based on yoga, right? But it's I think that any spiritual practice is the same. I think any spiritual practice is the same. But we have found yoga, so we stay with it. I don't know what else to say. So we look at the images, and we can later discuss after. So journey home. No. Why did you choose March? This just happened. March 22, that was like a year and a half ago, right? This is the time where we actually went in the field. This is where two people started living there for full time, right? In the village, two field agents. Santinos is our sole field agent right now. He lives where you see. Oh, let me. Okay. So yeah, March 22 was it was Easter, and it was when the guys decided to make the transition. Right, they gave up their life here, their jobs and everything, and they went there. And this is when we started actually putting things on the field. And it's been a crazy year and a half because things have been evolving very, very quickly. So journey home, I do have this sense of returning home every time I go back there. So this is where it is. It's located here. You see where the red dot is. And this was very specifically chosen. The main reason is because it is the same, equal distance from Athens, from Thessaloniki, and from Patra. Which are the three major cities in Greece, and this is where most of the people that we were trying to save, where they live. It's 2 hours from Athens. It's almost 3 hours from Patra, and a little more than 3 hours from Thessaloniki. Another main reason why we chose this area is that there we had already a home, a house. And we could stay there while we set up the first, first things in the field until we can stay there. And something that I didn't say is that my personal vision of the project is for a motif, for a recipe to come out of it that people can actually use. And it doesn't have to be this project, right? But based on how we are doing it, maybe people can get inspiration or ideas and do the same. I say this because I think it was 6 of us, right? And among the six of us, some of us, our parents had houses in the village. I think it's pretty common among 6 people in Greece. One of them have like a house in the village. So we start there. We start where we can. We start where we are, right? And we take the next step. We don't take 10 steps, which I think is really important, because like the budget for this is very, very limited. It's very difficult. Of course, with everything getting more expensive, it gets more difficult. By the year, it gets more difficult, I think. But anyways, limited budget is not really a problem. The budget is not really a problem after all. We can do things very cheaply. Because the idea is not to build an eco-village anymore. This is one of the things that kind of transformed along the way that I told you. We don't want to build anything. We want to build a community. We don't want to build structures, because the village is full of empty houses. All the Greek villages are full of empty houses. There's so much infrastructure. There's no real reason to build anything. So we found a couple of houses in the villages, and now like the guys have a very nice little house for 120 euros. Very nice. So yeah, we started there because this house existed also. And it's 22,000 square meters. 22 stramata, Kosivia stramata. It's plenty of space to begin. We'll see. So this is the beginning. Tapa. And starting to create the roads. The roads is the first thing that we make in the land. The first days we chose tents, big tents, because they're really comfortable, not very expensive, and yeah, look, it's very amazing, feel amazing. Yeah, this was one of the first nights that we spent. The shala, the first structure that we made, before the first summer, it was just the deck for the shala, and you see the foundation for the roof, right? All these. So we made the deck in May, and we made the roof in October, right? Which is another very important aspect. Increment, right? The steps. Again, breaking it down to manageable steps. And we knew that the shala is there's a community, a kinota. The thing that is common is, the space to come together and do the thing. And this is the shala for us. So we started with the shala. We did the first season with the shala roofless. Which is very funny. Now I look at it and it seems, funny. But back then it was amazing. It was like, oh, we had we had the shala. But it's small victories. Like the girl, I don't remember the name. She asked, break it down to smaller steps, because we need to feed off the successes. We want to have some success. That's going. Yeah. Hmm? Oh, very important. Yes. Yes, engineers. Yeah, we engineered the solution, and well, when there is a team of people, when there is more than one person, we can combine the things that we know and use, the skills. That's the main capital. Yeah, the main capital that we have is ourselves. if we don't have money, then all we have is our hands and our minds. So a civil engineer is always handy in these things. Very handy. Yeah. So how we chose? Let me finish the presentation. We can have questions after. This was really interesting. I love the design of the place because it happened naturally. So yeah, July, the first trainings that we held there. The first circles around the fire. Right after we took this picture, we were sat down from the what's the name of it? Exarhia. Right after we took this picture, they called us, "Do you have a fire going?" And we shut it down. So anyways, so because we are a yoga studio team, what we do is we teach yoga. So we set up the place so that we can teach yoga there, of course. Right? So every team that specializes into something, this is what they have to bring into the community. And this is pretty much the only way to make well, not profit, but make some money back. Because it's very much needed, of course. The main issue. So here is the area around. This is a little church that we have nearby. The nature is just amazing. And some just pictures from there. This is the construction of the roof. It's amazing. In October it was. Oh yeah, and in October we also started with an open air kitchen. This is our open air kitchen. Before this, we had nothing. Before this, we had just a table and put things on there. The first cob construction. The kitchen was the first cob construction. The walls are made of dirt, earth, clay. This is Lisa, my dog. She passed away this summer. This is in the winter. Amazing. It's the altitude is 525 meters, I think. So it's not very high in the mountains. It's nice and cool, but in the winter it gets some snow. So this is last summer. This summer that just went, and we had our first volunteers, or like organized group of volunteers, and we did some chores around the farm. This here is building a cob bench. This is the second toilet that we have. The second one that we made. This one is made with acacia branches. We took directly the branches from the tree and shaped them, and it's kind of organic like this. Yeah, we're learning, guys. We're not carpenters or anything, right? We just decided we're gonna do this and learn everything along the way, and it's amazing how it's easy. It's not very difficult. And this is movie night in the shala. So here we set up the first cultivation. How do you call it? You call it cultivation. What do you call it? Something else? Plantation or cultivation, right? And we decided to go with well, elements of permaculture. We thought a little bit about which technique to use. Decided to go to permaculture. So we made the contour lines, isoipsis, right? The lines where the altitude is the same throughout, so that the water stays. And yeah, prepare the ground. This is Sita. She was 2 months ago. a little smaller. This is the cultivation after we put it in. This is one of the lakes. We have two seasonal lakes on the mountain above us. We are right on the slope of the mountain. On the mountain, these amazing lakes. Oops. This is okay. We'll come back to this. Oh, that's it. Okay, so right before I come into this is the structure. I want to come back to this. So before we go into this, I think maybe we can discuss a little bit, ask questions, everything. So I want to begin with Lenny's question, and how we designed the whole thing. Well, designing the thing was a little bit of a topic of contention. What is it mean? Or is it right? Yeah. But anyways, what is really amazing for me is the thing that the place kind of speaks for itself. It speaks to you after a while, and it shows you where goes what, right? So we found a good place for the tents. We put the tents, and we started moving in the space. And as you walk, then the paths are shaped, right? So we realized the paths, and we kind of marked the paths. The shala was this. First of all, well, the whole thing is too big, right? 22 stremata is a big space, and it was very wild. It has been deserted for 25 years or 30 years, so everything was kind of going wild, and it's not easy to clear, right? So most of it is sloped, and then there is, as it goes like this, there is a kind of flat space that goes this way. And we decided to start with the flat space and put all our efforts there. So this is like maybe 6 or 7 tremata, because not enough energy, not enough hands, and we would not make much difference, right? So concentrate everything there. So we put the shala there, right? We had to put the shala somewhere to the side of this. And then, just by living in the place, you dream about it, and you think this should go there, this should go here, this should go there. And once this happens, underneath, the engineers do their engineering. Yeah. What about the trees in the area of south? Right. Well, we chopped down a couple of trees for the shala. You see here, there's a tree that goes through the shala. There's a couple of trees that go through the shala. It was one here. This one. You see this? This is the half. This is the half. It was going sideways, and there was another one here. We cut this. We try not to cut too many. We try to cut as few trees as possible. The trees are planted. The ones that we have inside, they were planted 30 years ago. I think we have cut down like maybe 15 trees. But I think we have like around, I don't know, 800. Yeah, we planted much more. We must have like 800 trees. I don't know, many trees. We started with trying not to intervene at all with nature, but it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. But we do have a designing value, let's say, which is that we could clear everything out of the place. Right? So if we want, we could easily take everything and go. But I mean, everything, all the structures, everything is easily, disassembled.
Like the kitchen is not really.
Yeah, the kitchen has some concrete only on the base, just like a shape like this. But it's just. Yeah, we want when we leave nothing to be left there.
The whole period of time of 1 or 2 decades, but the idea was marinating what could become. Were there any other communities that you visited or read about that you drew inspiration from? And what were the elements that you found you wanted to translate in this project?
Right. So, if we visited other communities and inspiration from them, I was also very lucky because when I finished with my first degree as a civil engineer, and the first master's as a structural engineer, I started working in the engineering world, and I kind of hated the distraction that was going on, distraction everywhere, and I kind of immediately decided that I'm not going to go down this road, and I looked for a master's in sustainability. And again, it's how things guide us if we are available to be guided. The one that I found, it kind of made sense. It was a program that was called Sustainable Community Design, and that was not my intention in the beginning, but I kind of got intrigued by it, and I decided to go for it. And within this postgrad degree, we had a month where we would spend in Finnhorn. Finnhorn is, I think it's probably one of the top examples for sustainable communities. In Scotland, it's in the north of Scotland, and it's, I think it's, I don't want to say any numbers because I don't know where they are, but definitely, yeah, very, very big influence for me. The way that things were organized there, very amazing. It was just an amazing experience. We went to Free and Real, and also in the first year at me and also Lenny, we had some contact with them. Free and Real is, I think, one of the oldest and prominent projects in Greece, and we're still very close with Apostolos. They helped us build the shala. They built the shala pretty much. We helped them build the shala. And there's, I don't know, there's many new communities ever since, many new projects, I would say, trying to happen in Greece ever since.
What's the elements that you felt that you wanted to?
Right. So in Finnhorn was huge, right? It's still huge. It's very, very big, and they have like 3 huge wind turbines. They have an amazing big sala, like a theater sala room. But what I really enjoyed was the I don't know how to say, the vastness, like the size of it, right? Because it kind of made me believe that it's possible. It was a fully functioning community. They had Oh, that was amazing. I loved this. They had they would locally treat their sewage, right? And they made a system of sewage treatment with natural plants and like 7 big tanks that they have, and the water would go through every one of them with different plants, and the plants would drain different elements from the thing, and then it would just become drinkable water in the end. I really loved it. They had compost. They had like huge piles of compost. They mix it with trucks. They had a big kitchen, and they would eat all together. Like it was just really amazing. And yeah, this just gave me perspective, you know. Let's begin, and why limit the vision? You know, just allow the vision to go everywhere possible, and it might become real. So I would say this is the thing. This is the main thing that I got out of it. Yeah. And some things to not do. I don't want to say like this, but in general, you know, I really enjoy learning directly and also turning it upside down. What not to do, I think, is very important. Yeah. Any other question? I have taken the role of presenter. I don't know, but Katerina is very, very involved. Konstantinos is here also. And now we have Alkisti lately, which has been interested and joined the team. And Eleni is kind of in discussions right now. Trying the waters. But I've taken the role of talking again. So, any other questions? I can't really hear. Yeah, we didn't. Not why we chose yoga and not other movement. Yeah, yoga is the thing that was already there. So, firstly, the team formed around yoga, and then we started the project. Why? This is what we had. We were already practicing yoga, and yoga was already a factor that was bringing the team together and also managing the dynamics within the team. It's a method of managing the team, actually, because it has like foundational values that it follows. First of all, you know, non-violence, which is very important. Or also truthfulness. Truthfulness is very, very important in a project like this. If I want to do like A and Katerina wants to do B, it's important to say this, right? For example. But this is why. Firstly, we formed around yoga. So we kept yoga. It just happened.
Then you
Yeah, we had an advantage, I would say. We were lucky again. We were actually, you know, in Greek we say "Tiki ευνοείς τους τολμηρούς," like the luck favors the brave, right? So as opportunities pass by, we need to stand up to them, right, and pick them up and go. Because if we don't, we'll just go. I think we were lucky because before we started the project altogether, the team was already working together for 8 years. So we had already been through a lot of process, a lot of aligning, right? It was. But I think this is most of the work that needs to be done.
Together also the garden.
Yeah, the quarantine also. Ja, zie je op de speaker. Allora, dat ik heb het tegen die zo. Het thema is van de tijd. Ja. Right. What we want. Yeah. So what is the plan with the cultivation? Yeah. So the idea is to try to be autonomous, completely, fully, of everything. So first we begin with food. So for now we don't produce much. Eventually, but we ate the first salads. So eventually we want to eat all our salads from there. Bees, yeah. But the idea is to be able to completely cover our needs, and this is a serious amount because there's many people visiting, like throughout the season of like from May we go to November, beginning of November. We might get, I don't know, this is just an estimation, but I would say like 500 meals, something like this. So that's a lot of produce. But of course, we want to expand more than this and be able to also provide others. We'll bring some of the stuff here and use also the produce that we produce as an advertisement, I would say. Where is that from? It's from the Evergreen Project, and that's it. And you can go there and be involved. And so use the whole thing as a kind of closed system and as a closed loop that brings people back home. Right. But as I said, we want to be autonomous with everything, and also electricity. That's the
Yes, I would love this if it was to happen, to be able to produce our own auxilia, wood for construction. Because we have many trees, and I would love to figure out a way so that a rotation happens and we grow the trees, use them for building material, and grow everything locally. Everything.
I was going to ask, talking about getting into trouble, how are eco villages and these kinds of communities regarded legally in Greece? What is their configuration and what are the challenges in terms of legibility?
Yeah, that's
legibility towards the state.
That's a big one. So what do we do with our relationship to the state? Well, we try to
minimize it.
Try to not have any. But it's necessary. It is necessary. I don't know, in Greece, things work in their own way. I don't know if there is something specific for communities like this, but the things that we considered were Astiki Mikroskopiki, like a company that is non-profit. We considered Kinsep, which is, well, anyways, Kinsep. Cooperative, yeah, cooperative business, it's called somehow. It's more of a, like a for-profit. Well, the truth is that we didn't want to be anything. We just wanted to be a bunch of people living in nature. But we could buy the land. The land needs to be in someone's name. We could have divided amongst all our names, but it wouldn't make sense because people would come and go. So this is why. And there's also Silogos.
An association.
Association. You can be like a environmental association, yoga association, or anything. And you have to find one of these and you will move forward, because it can really be an obstacle. It can really take you forever to move from this. So never forget that this is there is a boundary between the two. Like there's the I don't know, governmental governmental things that need to happen, you know, and everything, and the protocol that we're gonna have, and then there's the reality of it, and those two things, they don't have to do anything with each other.
Right, the facade and.
The facade. So, make sure that you keep going with the real side, and the other side.
So there is a space in the Greek, the way that the Greek state interacts with these kinds of entities where a spiritual community is.
I wouldn't say
Some,
that.
no.
I don't know. I probably, but we didn't really know. We found this solution. It's been working fine ever since, and it allows us for opportunities also. Because don't forget, but these governmental facades, they are made for a reason, to be taken advantage of. So well, it allows for some, for example,
The volunteers.
the European volunteers. Yeah. We get funding. We just now got some funding from the European Union. We have volunteers organized. Right. Right. Yes, there is. With technology. So what do we do with technology? It's a hybrid. I would say we use all the tools that we have. All the tools that we must use them. It's been a very uphill battle. It's been very difficult. Very, very difficult. You cannot imagine. So because it's that difficult, we need to use everything that we have. And one very important thing that has appeared is working online. And this really is, I think it's an invaluable tool for communities like this. Because, you know, like everything, we do this with a very systematic plan. And you know, Konstantinos is now there, and Katerina now goes from Thursday to Monday mostly. And I was there for a week, and I would do all my work from there. So of course we want to use technology.
We can work and be part of the community.
You take your time to do whatever you need, because, well, I'm gonna come back to the things that I left for the end. The first tenet, the first principle that we have is that the project is a side project for its members. We don't expect to live from it full time just yet, because money right now seems to be going into a dark hole, black hole, right? We throw money into this thing. So there is no profit inside. So we need to make a living, right? So yeah, we need to have our work, our support, and this as a side project because it's not ready to support anyone. It's still a baby. Right. We want to have well, all the animals eventually. I think the first ones are going to be chickens from this spring. Spring we're going to get chickens. See how it goes. Maybe a couple of ravata, sheep, right? Like a goat, milk, maybe a horse after grazing, because we use all the time with a trimmer, trimming everything. All this needs trimming like 3 or 4 times a year. So a horse will be very happy.
Try to train also the dogs. We're doing but
And there is amazing interaction with nature. There's deer coming through. You have squirrels, cows coming through. Of course, boars.
wild boar.
I have a question.
Like,
Are there some people or one or more people that live there permanently now, or all the team comes and goes through the year?
Constantino's there permanently now.
Okay.
It's just him now. Yeah, so it is seasonal. So the idea is to be seasonal like this, because you know, everything is seasonal. Here we don't really appreciate seasons in the city. So I was there for 3 months in the summer. Katerina is like half the week, and it's incremental. Right? So when we began, we were just here, and then we had a person 2 days, 3 days, and then the opposite. We go 5 days there and 2 days here. And so this is the plan to make the transition slowly, smoothly. Because it brings very much tension. If it kind of stresses people, and if you feel insecure about financially, it brings a lot of tension to the team, to the project.
Now I'm thinking if I should do the question. But what is the long term?
The long term, the
what
long
you
term,
want to develop the
the
you
long
want
term,
to kidnap it from the city?
yeah.
Permanently or just a kid?
Yeah, he would come to the class, and we would spray you with. He would wake up there and be like,
And wake up there.
So the idea is to live in the village, just live in nature and in community. So the long-term idea, as I said, is not to build anything. Well, not just yet. We might build, yeah, of course we'll build things, right? We'll try designs, and we'll try ways of building and learning to build with our hands. But not to accommodate the people of the community that much. So the long-term idea is like a group of people that we're going to be living in sync, I would say, somehow in a community, somehow around this area. Yes, of course. The field is there for all this, for workshops, for yoga, for cultivation, for bees, for honeybees. We have honeybees for pretty much any projects that you want to do, that anybody wants to do, if they want to get involved and live around the area, like one of the villages, and be with each other and create a platform for people to make the transition, to get a taste of it. So it's really endless, there's no limit, and we don't want to have any limit like this. There are some limits, there are some limits, but yeah, is that an answer?
Yes, and then for me it's very interesting that it's kind of a hybrid thing, because you want to use the houses around in the villages around.
Yeah.
And have this other place where there will be the connecting place for the community, but everybody will have also his own place, and you can also infiltrate the local community. That's quite interesting.
We tend to our relations with the local community very careful. We tend to look out. It's very feeling. We want to be with them. We want to involve them in everything. We want to have good relations with them. Of course, we want to offer things to the local community. Of course, we want to be a part of them, or be together. I don't know. Of course, integrate fully, and hopefully also help a little bit with change if it's needed. Because I don't know if you have any experience from Greek countryside.
I came here we ran with the and it was horrible to be for because it was a difference of cultural mentality, and even if we try to go to them to do what they are doing in order to be accepted, it was all the time a huge battle.
Yeah, you're a stranger. Yeah, you're a foreigner. You're a stranger to them. So another thing that we're trying to address is that if you speak with people that have tried to go live to the village, that have made attempts like this, and there's many people like this, most of them really did a couple of years and returned because they couldn't find connection with the people. And of course, you cannot find connection because it's very, very different culturally. For us, the idea is to be autonomous in that also, right? So we go there and we don't expect anything from anyone of the locals. We are our own entity, very open to them, but we don't depend on them, right? Even socially. So we do our own thing and slowly, with respect, expand as we want to expand, and we give them money. We buy everything locally, and when we have groups of people, we have like local tavernas cook for us. We buy all the material there, also, even if it's not the cheapest. Of course, it's not the cheapest, but we buy everything in the village, and people start to appreciate this, and they take you seriously after a while. And hopefully we'll be able to open up everything that we offer towards them and see what happens. Because it's really challenging to be in a state like this, be a stranger in a big house, countryside. Santinos is laughing.
We already been in the village, in the nature, doing everything by ours, to relearn Because because we try to go to them that it's not all the time because they are too much pride about getting kind of, and so we decide to come back to the city. Find more different people. Because there are a lot of different people that it's easy to affect each other. And when the city is staying,
I hear this everywhere. So many people have tried, and that's the main reason. That's the main reason that it's difficult. But I stay with a hybrid setup that we use, and I think it's very important that this. So we move everything online, right? As much as we can do online, we can do from here, and organize the community and go there without the need for anything. I think it's important this way. Yeah. And also close by. Right? So even in the future, in the far future, like 15, 20 years from now, I don't imagine I'm just gonna be there and not move. I'm gonna be coming to the city, like coming to the studios, I don't know, visiting people twice a month. Maybe I can also maintain my classes here. Come back here every week. It's 2 hours. It's 2 hours. And if there's other people, maybe like 5 people together, they can share a ride, and everything changes. Decide what we want to keep and what we want to discard. There was another question I thought somewhere, I think. So other questions? Okay. No.
Στα ελληνικά θα προσπαθήσω. Κατάλαβα που το επίκεντρο του studio είναι το yoga. Το επίκεντρο. Okay. Αν δούμε το yoga σαν ένα εργαλείο, δηλαδή ένα εργαλείο που open, okay? Δηλαδή décontraction, exploration et création. Ok. Décontraction. Voilà. Μετά αυτό το μέρος που είναι για yoga, για 3-4 όσους μέρες θέλουμε και αλλαγές με άλλοι ανθρώποι που θα έρθουν για το yoga ή που κάνουν yoga, αλλά μετά κάτι επιπλέον θεωρώ που θα βγει, τι θα είναι, δηλαδή. Όπως θυμάμαι ένα πράγμα που είχαμε κάνει, όχι εγώ, με φίλοι που είχαν κάνει ένα μικρό community μέσα στο Παρίσι, που μετά είχαν γίνει προβλήματα, εντάξει, γιατί δεν τους τρελάνε, γιατί τέλος πάντων. Ήταν ένα atelier, ζωγραφιά, δηλαδή είχαν το επίκεντρο την ιδέα πολιτική και είχαν δίπλα ένα πράγμα επιπλέον le dessin, la musique, μουσική, θέατρο, σχέδιο, που η ιδέα δεν ήταν μόνο να είναι μαζί, δηλαδή το βασικό όταν κάποιος έχει την ίδια ιδέα και θέλει να απλώς, δηλαδή αρχίζει και να des petits trucs, μικρά πραγματάκια που ανοίγουν σε άλλα εκεί πέρα.
Yeah, of course.
Και τώρα είναι το επίκεντρο είναι το yoga. Το yoga πώς θα ανοίγει για άλλα πράγματα. Τώρα αυτό θέλω να ζωγραφιά, ιδέες, δεν ξέρω τι. Δηλαδή η βάση είναι ένα επίκεντρο, πάμε για yoga, πάμε να ανοίξουμε να καταλάβουμε διάφορα πράγματα που σε μια φάση που θα πρέπει να τον πραγματοποιήσουμε δηλαδή.
So what is after yoga? What's next?
Voilà, exactly.
Right. So I think I found that the communities, they need functions. They need to have their functions, right? The things that they do repeatedly, and through those things they bond together and they stay together, right? That they feed their relationship with people. This is how we use yoga. Could be anything else. Could be other things. What happens after is really what the members want. For example, Constantinos has honeybees now. Yeah. Bees for honey. The bees. So he has his bees. Maybe another person comes along and they do it together. Right?
Woodwork also.
Yeah, woodwork.
Okay.
Yeah, we have some basic.
For the first time, yes, for the.
We have like a small workshop, so we can make.
Electricity.
Yes, some
for the.
So some.
Make after long year to open it for two.
We do workshops, not only the yoga workshops.
Yeah, wait. So we also we set up a small workshop for making woodwork, right? To create things out of wood. And if this grows and a couple of people or a bunch of people are interested in this, they're going to grow it and they're going to start making things. They're going to start teaching it, and they also are going to help other communities build their own first structures. So this is very central to the idea. Network with other communities and offer to them what we know. But it could be the same with everything. Right? Others might get interested in the cultivation, for example. And there's a group of people that are working with this. It grows, and maybe we have surplus, we have more things that we need, and we can set up a shop in the nearby village, so a person can do this. This is the way that is planned to evolve and expand and include more people.
Work with the local community as well, like synergia with μπορούμε να βοηθάμε, ας πούμε, στην περιοχή.
Yeah, with the locals. Well, yeah, of course, help with the locals. That's not very right. Anything else? Any questions? So let us discuss this a little bit. Oh, that's not the thing. Huh? Oh, we don't have it. Oh, okay. So anyways, never mind this. I'm gonna put this here. Is fine. So 6 things. Coming up with a structure for this, I think it's easy to realize that a structure is needed, right? If someone is to become interested and they come once and they stay for 2 nights and then another time for 2 nights and then a week and then a month and then they decide, the identity needs to be a little as clear as it can. So we need to set those things down somehow. But we wanted to keep the structure a little light, so that it's not very intense and not repeat the same mistakes of too much governance, right? Too much. So only 6 things. The first thing is side project. It's a side project. You need to be making your living somewhere else. Yeah, for the moment, and hopefully try to make your living through the project eventually. But since we're not there, it's really important that it's a side project for everyone. The second thing is that we need to pay membership. right? Subscription syndrome. This is a way. This is something that saves us from a lot of trouble, right? Because it evens out the differences of money input, right? Because not everybody has the same capabilities to give money, right? So a small membership subscription is really helpful because it's going to create a budget. And if we have a budget, we can choose how we want to apply it, right? And if there is no budget, it's time for expenses, and we go like, who's gonna who's gonna pay for this? And I paid the last one, and you know, it's and all this. So I think it's a good way to balance like this. And it also allows for a lot of freedom, because after a month, you know, you have an amount. After 2 months, you have a bigger amount. You can budget. So we are discussing. It's not fixed yet for us. The subscription to be 150 euros per month. But for now, just keep this as a figure. But the idea is that we need to be contributing financially to this. The third one is that we need to figure out a way of lending money to the project. Exactly, because not everybody has the same capacity to offer money. We need to figure out a way that a loan to the project is created by the people that do have the money. Again, to avoid any problems that this might be. And here we have a very good idea. So for us, we have you put credit, let's say, with two ways. One way is to put money directly, to loan the project directly, and the other one is to loan your work to the project, because work is very much needed as well. So we set like a how do we say? Part-time, like a part-time job as a 400 euros per month, like 4 hours per day, 5 or 6 days per week. This makes for 400 euros per month, which you don't take, but you loan to the project. Understand? You put the work now and you take the money back when it's time. The first tenet is you need to figure out a way for the loan to be paid back, right? For this, we also have a solution. It's for us, the loan that you give, once it goes to 5,000 euros altogether, the work and the money that you put, you start to take a share. So we decide what amount of money, which part of the money of the budget every month comes to paying back the loans, right? Understand? And you take your part back. This is the fourth. Fifth is, and of course, yeah, after we have the rights and the responsibilities of the members. So these are examples. Our commendation, for example, is a right. So paying a subscription would get you access, you know, to like a bed or a room or a tent, access to the tools, access to the lands, access to all the infrastructure that we have, yoga classes, of course, and everything that the team has set up as the rights of the team, right, of the members. And then there's the sixth and the last one is the responsibilities. So, for example, one of the responsibilities is being present in the group process. So the team has a group process that goes on every week. a specific time, and we come together at this point, and we discuss the issues that have arisen. And it's the same with the meeting. The meeting is more practical. You know, what are we going to do? When? Who's going to do it? What's going to happen? The group process has more to do with experiencing, with living in this, handling the emotions that arise. This is not very helpful. So, right? Does it make sense? Kind of made to be simple. But the idea is for every group of people that decide to come together to have like a rule of thumb that they can use and begin. It's going to help with the first big issues. So, finishing with these, yeah, the next step, if you're interested in this, is to experience it. Right? It's funny. I know that many projects like this stay in the preliminary step of discussing things. It's important, I think, to realize that discussing and thinking about it's not really going to make it happen. So moving forward is going for it, taking the step. Visit is usually first step, couple of days, see how it feels. If you get interested, you return, and then you discuss longer term solutions if you want. Yeah, just start to be present in anything, not just the project, in everything, anything that you want to do. Just be present to it. Make the most out of it. To help with this, with the practicality of being there, we decided that I think after the holidays, we'll make a rule. The rules are really helpful, like this, try to be there every first Friday, Saturday, Sunday of every month, and every third Friday of every month for a 3-day weekend, so that we can create a common space, share a space, and if that happens, everything else comes after. So yeah, you can keep that in mind, and if it's spring comes, you want to take a look first and third, we'll be there.
Next weekend also I will be there. With the team of Real and 10 volunteers. We're gonna the work that we're gonna do is to take out the tents now for the winter. And of course, supper. All the time. If you wanna come, also in the flyer here, behind there is the social communication, and there is all the social media, so you can come in touch with that.
So I have never been there, and I only visit. Actually, a week ago, when I was flying state in the area, I realized that we send a message.
Yes,
here.
a message to the Evergreen Project, the messenger, or you can call. Yes.
And if somebody just to pass by for a day or a few hours to see.
Yeah, and then people dinner will be there.
And for the first visit, let's say you go for a weekend, what is the protocol with them? You want of course, the idea if you're there is that you get involved with some work.
Yes, we want to work, we have a schedule of that. And then you have a limited time for your needs. Listening.
Yeah, we're trying to work on donation.
Yeah.
We are trying to make this happen. It's not very easy. We'll see. But we try to make the whole thing work on donations. So the first visit, I would suggest to be organized, because some weekends can go by and we don't have something concretely planned. So I would suggest the best experience would be to like check the schedule and see what are you interested in. Be on time from the beginning, from Friday. Usually they start on Friday. We work throughout the weekend. We go like for hot springs. Depends. But if it's something organized, there's gonna be other people and it's gonna have a structure. So the first weekend of the month we'll do work and process and group process. The third weekend of the month we'll do pleasure, we'll relax. If you want to visit, I would suggest, sending a message to the Evergreen Project on Facebook I think it's the safest. A day or two before should be plenty. It's enough. And start from there. But I want to say that it's really the idea is to be open to anyone who wants to try it out and see if they like it, and try to make a life for them and help them with it. So yeah, really just feel free. Anything that you think is, any ideas that you have, any thoughts that you have, we want to know, we want to help.
Besides the immediate priorities in terms of that are mentioned here, like the creation of a road pathway for heavy vehicles and the community square for social events, are there any immediate material needs in terms of furniture or kitchenware or anything that you want to put out for us to be aware of?
Right. Yeah, what do we need? Yeah, I'm thinking that we need someone to actively do this, to do like a campaign of the things that we need. And I think this is what we mostly need, people, because it's very big and it's not enough for us. Other than this, yeah, we want recycled wood, like planks and everything like this. Plants, by the way, also. We want single mattresses. We want many of those. We are in need of those. Chairs, well, for outside. Carpets. We have sofas. We have an abundance of sofas for some reason. Yeah, kitchenware, cabinets for the kitchen. All this is some things. Yeah, that's. Of course, I have to say we are in desperate need of financial support. Financial support is really important. And there's some ways that you can do this also. You can support us. There's can you say anything about this?
No.
No. It's a tough issue.
There's a box there for donation.
Right, we have a box for donations. We do want to work on donations, right? If we put a price to things, kind of changes the whole idea. Because we have learned to live in a world of money, right? Everything revolves around money. And it's a very new thing to learn to function in this way. Yeah. So yeah, we can consider a subscription, and with a subscription, you can have access to everything. Well, either way, you can have access to everything. With a subscription, you can help us.
Tak, taki pogracie.
Yeah. Anything else? Okay.
I have a question. So in the winter, the temperature, you can't stay there.
Well, for the 3 months, I would say.
Color the winter in Greece.
Getting shorter. There is, I should also say this because it's we're really excited about this. We are very lucky again because right next to our field, the next field has a mountain refuge in it. A shelter, a mountain shelter, Catapillo, Orivatiko. And the Catapillo it's not going very well. They are considering doing something about it, and we really hope to manage the shelter, which would be amazing. And it would expand the season throughout the year. Rooms and hot water, stuff like that. So, what do you think? Yes? Sita and Spitas. This was there must be like 2 months old here. Okay, so if we are finished, I don't know. Should I put this again? Okay. Right, okay, guys. So that's all I had to say. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you very much for taking the time. And we're at your service. So let's finish here.